Okay. So I'm recording now. So in case anybody misses out there, I can share the recorded listing. So I'll make it very fast. So again, let me quickly come over. So the content of your project report is going to be the same. The only thing that's going to change is maybe in your printed copy, your dedication. So you are dedicating it to maybe God or dedicate to your wife or whatever. Then your acknowledgement. Okay, Abdullah is able to join now. So your acknowledgement, you want to acknowledge your lecturers, your supervisors, or the founder, whatever you want to acknowledge. Then abstract. So abstract is a kind of executive summary of the whole project. So all this will come later. Then you have a table of content. So table of content, you have to put page number for all the different topics or titles on each section. So this one will come later. They usually come at the end. Then your chapters have been broken down into 5. 1 is introduction, 2 is literature review, 3 methodology, 4 resource and discussion, and 5 conclusion and future works. Okay. So list of tables. So this will come later after list of figures. So let's say figure 1.1, the page number, things like that. So all of this will come later. Then abbreviations. So if you use abbreviations in your report, let's say Internet of Things, which is IoT. So you put IoT, then you put what it means. Then list of symbols. So let's say you are using equations in some of the report parts. So you have to put the symbols and what they stand for. So all of this will come later on, not now. So let's look at chapter 1, which is the introduction. Chapter 1. So chapter 1, it's more like the background, okay? So background, just talk about generally what you are trying to do in your project. This project is about so we're looking at IoT for poultry production, right? So some of the papers I gave you some assignments, tasks to do, right? Maybe I'll come to it later. So introduction, you talk about poultry management, IoT, how IoT is currently being used for poultry management. So like for the other group 3, so I suggested to them that they can use ChatGPT to get information. How many of you have used ChatGPT before?
ChatGPT.
Yeah. AI. ChatGPT, if you look at it, you just go to, you've used it before, right?
Yes. No, AI.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's ChatGPT or there's Bard. Is it Bard, right? Google Bard. So you can just come here. It's very easy to do. Just go to this link. I'll share it in the listing. Then you just log in with your Google or Gmail account. Then you to get in. So you can ask ChatGPT to discuss or sorry, provide information on the use of IoT for poultry production. Yeah. So once you do that, to give you some discussion. So again, you don't have to copy everything verbatim for verbatim. It's just to give you an idea of what IoT. Then you now put it. You can put it in your own words and give some discussions. Okay. So this can be a place to start from. Then later on, from the articles you are going to be reading in your, when I say literature review chapter 2, then you can provide more information. So let's say, for example, I can copy this one. Let's see. Where's my Word document? Okay. So you can see here, it's the Internet of Things, that is IoT, as one application industry, including agriculture. In poultry production, IoT technology offers several advantages, helping farmers optimize processes, enhance productivity, and ensure the well-being of the poultry. Here are some of the ways in which IoT is used in poultry production. So instead of doing, I'm putting all those things there, like putting all these, you can just summarize. IoT can be used to control the poultry houses. Something like this copy. Yeah. So so you just build up a general introduction. So that anybody that picks up your project, we have something to we understand what your project is all about. Then after that, after you talk generally about IoT in protocol, and then the aim of this project, is to design and develop smart poultry, a smart poultry, maybe house or cage, maybe cage or house or cage for chickens using the Internet of Things.
Internet. Yes.
So bear in mind when you're writing, right, when you have defined like this Internet of Things and you have put it in abbreviation, so you don't need to write everything again. So you just put IoT here. IoT. Then objectives. So what are the objectives of this project? So remember our first report I sent to you. Let me see if I can find it here. So maybe something like this. You can take here. Put it here. So I'm trying to show to you guys how you write your report. So later on, you guys will can have time to work on that. So objective one, maybe IoT to design an IoT system that monitors the following diseases. So maybe objective two, to develop the hardware for the IoT system for poultry. Then as a objectives three, to demonstrate develop a prototype of the IoT for poultry production. So this can be okay, right? So problem statement. So you want to look at what are the challenges faced for poultry production that you feel this IoT can solve. So again, you can just go to your ChatGPT and ask what are the problems for poultry production. So to give you some statements, then based on those statements, you now say you want to use IoT to solve some of these problems. Then scope of the project. So usually scope of the project is what you'll be doing in the project. So this will include design of the electronic circuit for the project. Sorry, I'm trying to be faster. Then maybe design electronic circuit board, write the firmware for the microcontroller of the IoT system. Then construct the IoT system. then for build the prototype. Okay, so these are just things that your project is going to cover. Sign. Okay, then maybe start and there's the prototype. Okay, right? So something like that. Then later on we can add more things, but now this can be a good structure for you to start with. Okay. So next is literature review. So normally for literature review, right? Again, you look at that's where you need to, this assignment I gave you guys to search for existing papers that have developed or used IoT for poultry production. So for you to do that, the task I gave you guys was to go to Google Scholar. So I will repeat the same steps here. It's quite easy. So you come to Google Scholar. Google Scholar, right? Search for Google Scholar. This one. So in the Google Scholar, what do you need to do? So you search for maybe IoT plus poultry production. Poultry. Okay. So these are examples of, so let's say I take this one. This one, I click on it. Okay. So you can read up on the abstract. This is the abstract. As the world population is growing, demand for poultry production will continue to increase. To meet this demand, one candidate mechanism to increase production is to increase nursing and manage more birds. However, this practice, along with other shortage, labor shortages and increasing biosecurity practices, will make it increasingly difficult for producers to monitor the production, health, and welfare status of the bird. So you can see this paper has already talked about some of the challenges faced by poultry people. One is the increase in labor or shortage of labor, increasing biosecurity practices, and difficulty to produce, difficult for producers to monitor. So one of these can be one of the challenge. So these are things I see. Let's say you go back to your report. Let me see what's the report now. So challenges faced. Where is it? No, under your problem statement. So you can say poultry producers face the challenge to adequately monitor the production, health, and welfare status of their birds. This is one of the challenges, faced. So that, so let's say from that paper, what I need to do special review. So this paper is if it's secret, then and click. Sorry, can you mute because of there's a background noise there. On site. Ibrahim, please, can you mute? Or Abdullah, please mute.
Mr. Abdullah.
Abdullah, okay, Abdullah, please, kindly mute. There's a background noise. So you click on this site. This is what I wanted you guys to do. You click on this site. Just copy this reference here. Just copy. And come to your report in chapter 2. And just paste it here. I'll paste it here. Okay. Oh, I've even done it the first time. So it's already here. So this is number 1. So I don't need to take this off. Then when you do that, you try to see if you can download the paper. Try to see if you can download the paper, because you need to read the content of the paper to know how they use IoT to develop their own system. So some of the papers, they are free. They are allowed to download, but some, like this one, is not open access. You have to purchase the paper. So in that case, you come to this website, Sky. SkyUp. It's called SkyUp. So SkyHub sometimes allows you to have access to some of these papers. So this SkyHub, you just copy this GOI. Copy, come here, and paste it here. Open. So if you're lucky, you get the paper there. If you're not lucky, then you can see the paper is there. Then just click on download. So I'll download it and save it in your group. Okay. So I'll download and save it here, but I'll save it with the name so I can remember. Smart poetry management. Smart sensors data. All right, so this is saved. So later on you can go and read, see, you can get some useful information on how IoT is used for poultry production that you can add into your discussion of your introduction or in the literature review. So this is the first thing you need to do. So get papers and get their, what do you call it now? References, and try to download and keep them. Where's the okay. So then some of the papers, they will tell you the methodology they use. How they use IoT. Maybe they use IoT to monitor the temperature of the cage or the pen, call it pen or whatever. Or they used IoT to automate their feeding, or whatever they use IoT for. Then you just read it from that paper and write it here. So this will be used later on to do the discussion in this section. So group 3, they've already done this part. They started after you guys, but they've completed this part. They've selected their papers. So if you can get up to, let's say, 20 papers that has, so make sure that you are looking for people that has to do with poultry and IoT. Then search and add their references there. Then out of those papers, we'll select which paper we want to, that is closely related to what we want to do. Then we'll discuss the papers here. So in my next class, I will teach you how to discuss paper. But for now, since you guys haven't finished with this, go and finish with this. Download the papers. The ones you cannot download, just says cannot download. Just put cannot download. Then, so group leader, you create a Google Drive and put the papers you are able to download. So everybody will contribute. Maybe this person will look for 4 papers, for this one 5 papers, this one. Then you put all the papers together, but make sure that you don't repeat the same paper. It has to be all of them unique.
Different papers.
Yes, different papers, exactly. So this is very important. So let's get these ones quickly sorted out so that we will now select the best thing that is related to what we want to do, because not all of them will be related to what we want to do. We still use them to provide references for our work, okay? So in that case, so some of the challenges faced in poultry production, like I copied from that paper, you can discuss them here. So all the different papers will talk about the challenges they face. So just copy from there. And any paper you copy, let's say this one, you copy from, like this one now, I copied part of this from here. Right? So the reference citation, they call it citation. So this is one, right? So let's say we arrange them this way. So this one, you copy it and put it here. So you know which paper you cited. So you have to back some of your write-up with citations, meaning that you didn't just think out of your head, you took it from the literature. Okay, so that's how they do it. Put one here. So let's say another paper, you get some information from this paper, you put whatever you want to put in, you put it as number 2. Okay, then when you want to refer to this paper again, maybe in another place, you refer to it as number 1. So that's what we call citations. Okay, so now this section, IoT technology. So you can, from those papers, some of them, maybe they use Wi-Fi for their IoT, some of them they use cellular, some of them they use maybe LoRa. So we try to look for the different technologies that they use for their listening. So again, we'll discuss on this later, but first, go and get this ready. When we get this, then we can now begin to get all this information from these papers that we read. Okay, so I think that's for chapter 2. Then let me quickly go to chapter 3. So chapter 3 is your methodology, right? So here, how many of you know flowchart? Do you know anything about flowchart? Have they taught you flowchart?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, so flowchart is more like an algorithm to show how your system works. Maybe from start, what's the next thing? So I'm going to teach you how to do that. So you guys, the aim of doing a project is for you to pick some of these things, okay? So that it will add to your skills. Time is running out. So we're almost running out of time. So I think we're almost done. So I sent you this I sent this to you on the WhatsApp group, right? Last week. I don't know whether you guys went through it. So this is the block diagram for your system. So, we did this design before, the IoT device, microcontrollers, and the rest. So this is how the IoT system architecture looks like. So the hardware consists of all these components. We are transmitting through our Wi-Fi, through our access points of 4G cellular to our base station. Then from base station, we are transmitting to application server. So we're going to create a simple application, web application for this. So the communication between the hardware and the application that we're creating, we're using MQTT, okay? So I'll talk more about that later on. I'll teach you guys on that. So for the hardware design, we're going to put all the components we're using. So for example, microcontroller. So this is the microcontroller we're using for this project. Then this is the pin out for the microcontroller, okay? Then this is our connection from the microcontroller pin out, okay, to this. So because of time, I won't go too far, but let's finish the task I gave you first, which is task 3. So please complete this task before our next meeting. Try to get the papers and try to download them. Once you can download, try to read them and try to get information from them to fill up some of these spaces I've highlighted in red. Okay. So because of, I think, how many minutes do we have left? So maybe if you have questions to ask so that we can use the remaining minutes to discuss on what. So if you don't understand anything, feel free. You are meant to learn. So take advantage to ask questions, what you don't understand. So let me know now. I've started the design, but I don't want to go into, we'll do that in the next class for the part, the design. Yeah. Okay, any questions? You can open your mic. Abdullah, any questions?
No, sir.
Are you sure? That means you understand everything I said.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Ibrahim, any question?
Sir.
So my question is that from that table, the references.
Yes. The references, this
Yes.
on the table.
On the table, ba?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
What about that method? Check what they use
Yeah.
for
So
the
if you
IoT.
can, yeah, if you can
Yeah.
read through the paper, because some paper will be very specific, like they will tell you they use IoT to monitor you can, like, for example, I've not read this paper, so I don't know. Let's say another paper. So in this paper, they use maybe IoT to monitor the temperature of the poultry. Or some of them maybe whatever they use IoT for to do in their design. So you just write it there for now. In that case, you just need to scan through the paper, maybe in their methodology or the abstract. Some of them is to mention it. So I want to know what they use IoT for in their own poultry design. Is it to monitor temperature? Is it to monitor humidity? Or they use it to they use camera to check on the health of the birds and things like that. So you just read the few papers and see what they use the IoT for. So like in our own case, right, we are using IoT. We say we want to use IoT to monitor the temperature. Then we also want to use IoT to monitor the dust of the poultry. We want to use IoT to control the heat in the poultry. We also want to use IoT to control the feeding. So like in those papers, what did they use IoT for? So we need to. Okay, any other question? I hope I answered your question correctly.
Yes, sir.
Any other question? Okay, so if there's no other question,
Sir,
I'm going to,
I
yes,
have a question.
yeah, please go ahead.
Yes. First, we are download the reference. Then we can download the papers.
Yes, so first you go to Google Scholar, right? So if you search for Google Scholar, maybe on your phone or you have a laptop, that may be easier. So on Google Scholar, like this example, so just search for Google Scholar. Google Scholar is a database that stores a lot of papers, published papers by researchers. Okay, so here you can search for any paper that have been published on IoT for poultry production. So first, once you see any paper that is relevant to you, then you just click on the reference. This site, what they call site, just click on it, then copy this first one. We're using the MLA, the different referencing styles, but we use this simple one. And just copy this one, then you put in the Word document in your project report, maybe somewhere here. Sorry, I didn't copy it. Copy. You put it here. So this person, then you now go to that other site I showed to you. So sometimes you go to the place. Which one did I copy now? Let's say this guy. So like this one is open access, so you can download the PDF. They say download PDF. But if it's not open access, they will tell you to pay. So in that case, you just come to this other website I showed to you, SkyUp. I will share the link in the. Just copy the DOI. You can see they say enter the URL, PIMD or DOI. DOI. So DOI stands for Digital Object Identifier. So every paper that is published online must have a DOI. Let me check. Hey, you can see DOI here. So just copy this DOI. Let's say I want to use that. Copy the DOI from here and paste it here. Then click open. You can see it's also here. So first you look for the relevant paper, not just any paper, but any relevant paper that has to do with IoT and poultry. Then you try to get the reference by clicking on that site I showed you. Then you now try to download the paper so you can read through and see what they did, what they use IoT for in their own poultry project. Okay, any other question? Because I think we have just a few minutes left. Okay, so let me share the link for the SkyUp here. So it's quite easy. If you have any issues, you can always message me. I'll try to respond as soon as I see the opportunity. All right, so I want us to at least get our chapter 2 going. So it's something that we'll keep improving on. So that by next week, we start with chapter 3. So start looking at the main aspect. So I've sent where you can download papers from, the SkyUp, and put the DOI there. Then, of course, Google Scholar. You know how to get Google Scholar, right? This is where you can search for papers. So you guys should collaborate among yourselves because I'll be asking the group leader who contributed, who does not contribute. If you guys contribute very well, then you guys are going to be getting the same mark. But if you leave the work for just one person, then of course it's going to be unfair for one person to do most of the work and why you are not there and expect to get the same mark. So your contribution is very, very important. So please try to work as a team and contribute. Okay. So if there's no other question, I will send the updated version of this template. I will save it as today's date. So we'll use today's date to keep our updates, because it's going to be changing from time to time. So at the date with the latest, the report with the latest date will be the most current version of the report. All right. So Ibrahim,